What is up, bros? With Josh here, and today's video is all about Stage 2 of the Space Battle event, and with that brought us a new game mode titled Space Assault. So what exactly is Space Assault? Well, it is a 9v9 game mode where you will be assigned on one team, which is either going to be attackers or defenders. For the first part of this video, we'll go over the attackers side, which is pretty simple. You're going to be put on a time. If that time runs out, then you have lost the match. But what you're trying to do within that time is break down 4 generators, which will then allow you to take down the main station at the end. And every time you take down a generator, you are given 2 more minutes to break down that final station. Best part is too, one, if you die, you can regen after a 30-second wait. So it is kind of nice, and it does definitely bring some advantage to bringing a battleship, which I found the battleships to be the best ship within this game mode. I felt everything else to be pretty weak. Cruisers just are too fragile. Destroyers just didn't do enough damage in my opinion, and were also too fragile. I felt battleships were one of the best. Obviously you can just unlock whatever you're going through, but again, the main thing you are trying to do, as you can see, I can only see the A and the C. You're respawning far enough back, and you have a set amount of time, as you can see the top clock going down. And what you're trying to do within that time is break down that final station, the big one there. But as you can see, the A and the C on the left side, there'll be B and D on the other side. Once you have to get close enough, break down those 4 generators. Once those 4 generators are down, then the station is able to take a bunch of damage. So again, one of the best parts is it's a lot of action, and you keep going in, and the best part is you're going in and you really don't have to worry about dying, because you can just respawn. Also, you can see right here I'm doing a lot of damage against the enemy ships, and also doing my secondaries onto the main generator going towards the A side. One of the things is you do have to push in and be aggressive, because as you see, they are kind of protected from the back. As you see, one of the ships that's way in the back there is where we ended up spawning, and so all those islands are kind of blocking it, so you have to continue to push in and then do a bunch of damage. This was a lot of fun. I've been enjoying this. The attacker side seemed to be a lot of fun, and again, if you do mess up, also one thing that is kind of funny is a lot of people, it's funny depending on who you ask, a lot of people aren't paying attention, they just leave right away. We're so accustomed to not having any kind of respawn feature, so it is kind of cool to have the ace up your sleeve, and it does give the attacking team a bit of an advantage, because it does have an incentive to ramming. Imagine me going in and ramming a ship, I can respawn, and that's one of the downsides of the defending team, is they don't have the ability to respawn, but we'll talk about what they get when we switch over to that side. But it is 9v9. There was a pretty good mix of battleships, cruisers, and destroyers from what I saw, but to me, it seemed like battleships were so much stronger than everything else. And again, as you see, you can do a whole bunch of damage, and also, I think anything with secondaries is awesome. That's why I think the GK was basically the best ship. We ran a full secondary spec, as you can see it going absolutely crazy, and an easy match of over 200k. One of the things I did notice from a lot of teams, as you see, we're just about to take down that one, only 3 generators left, and we're down to 4 minutes. So you are against this clock, but every time you do break down a generator, you do get 2 more minutes to then take it on. One of the things though, you can do both damage to the generators and the with main battery guns and torpedoes. One thing you do want to do though is focus more towards the bottom of the generator. That'll have the most damage. I was kind of doing some tests with the destroyer when I was playing it, trying to shoot at the top, bottom. It seemed like if I was just shooting the water line, I would do the most amount of damage, and you'd be able to just be pretty dang successful, I guess. But yeah, it's awesome. You get to go in and be really aggressive and kind of get rewarded for it. As you see, that I'm kind of pushing in as the team is going to follow me in, because they went around. I did notice that happen a lot, is you do get rewarded for aggression, but of course it's all kind of up to your team. But as you see right here, I was kind of testing around, and you're going to see a pretty big hit against this. Obviously you can click on it. One thing that does seem to be a bug, but it probably won't get changed, is if you are running radio location on a DD or cruiser, it will attach to the nearest item. Again, as you see, we are losing more and more. And one thing you can do is if you kill the enemy team, you can also just win that way. And here you see me, I'm in the respawning phase. Once you die, 30 seconds will get you in. And as you see, I'm just kind of hanging out right now, and they're finally taking down the final boss, the final station. Once you take down that final station, as you see, we took down all of the other generators. It does go down pretty quick. Torpedoes also do damage to it, so you do get it through pretty quick. There was only a couple games. Basically, it was kind of decided pretty early with what was going to happen this game. Either you had a good chance of pushing in and doing a bunch of damage, Obviously, it depends on how many. One thing I did notice on the attacking team was there were situations where your team would kind of single file in and you would not be able to do anything against the defending team. But if there was any kind of coordinated push, it seemed to be pretty good and you could kind of do a lot of damage. Attacking side was pretty fun. That's the first one we got to play a lot, and we saw a bunch of success. We did have a closer look, but this is just what it looks like in the end, going through the respawn phase as well as watching the team then get the win. So pretty dang cool from the attacker side. I did like this, and again, not having to worry about being crazy careful and passive. That's why actually the cruisers, in my opinion, are kind of weak, is it at war is being aggressive. Top of the team, though, made a bunch of credits, as well as a bunch of XP and all the goodies that come with it. Now the defending side. So the defending side, you're basically trying to defend that, and again, you don't respawn. So one of the things you do is you get healing per second, and you get a reload booster. So those are the changes there. You get a little bit more of a reload booster every time somebody dies, and then you get a better heal. These are kind of the things we saw during the arms race where you got those buffs. You start out with one tap of the buff, as you see right here. I'll bring up the buff page, and you see the healing and that. So you get more and more as it goes on, but you do not get to respawn. So once you die, you are done, and that gives the defenders, yeah, if you can get that heal going, but let's say if you go in a bunch of cruisers, those cruisers can definitely get dev struck, and then they'll be sent back to port and you're down a team, although the rest of your ships will be stronger since they will have a heal and better reload and all that kind of good stuff. Honestly, we were running a triple battleship division and it was almost easy. There's nothing that you could really do. Again, any kind of coordination within this game mode, because it is a game mode that's basically open for everyone, there was a good mix of people who knew what they were doing, didn't know what they were doing, having fun, playing it serious. There was a mix. I was just having fun, and we were getting some good incentive, but there is definitely a bit of a YOLO. And if you see that middle, what you can do as a defender though is just stay passive, and so what you kind of see is everyone kind of spread out at the start, and then you tend to lose ships pretty quick as the defending side. So really you're just in a sitting and waiting game, and then waiting for them to push. But then they start pushing and there's a billion ships in your face. But you do get the heal, you do get a faster reload, and as you see, we've already lost a bunch of ships. I think one of our cruisers, I just told everyone to hang back, and they were like, yep, okay, sure. And then I think one of our cruisers pushed up the middle and died. One of our cruisers pushed out to the side and died. 2 DDs went out and just died. So it was just like, we can just hang here, guys. And as you see, we've already lost. We've already lost 2 of the generators, so they've gotten a little bit more time, but we've basically continued to just push them back. As you see, we've done a bunch of damage, but I haven't really moved from spawn. So I do kind of like that you do get rewarded for having good positioning, but basically you just kind of get to sit there, and then if you're holding it down, there's some good coordination. It's really tough for anybody to push in. There was one game where we had 3 DDs that seemed to know what they were doing, and so what they did is they just held down those points, and anything that went around them, they just absolutely murdered them. So that was pretty nice, and it made it for an easy defend. To me, it seems kind of balanced, but it seems like a good defending ship can really stop almost an entire team, especially like a GK. If you're losing 4 or 5 ships with this, and you have maybe 1 or 2 people, it's really tough to push in through that, because the heal and the reload, like a GK or the Repub, that know what they're doing, it is a lot of damage they're pumping out, both with secondaries and main battery, and it's tough to push in. And what ends up happening is when there is starting to be the reloads and there is starting to be the respawns, people tend to start just going one by one, and it's pretty easy for you to continue to pick them off, send them back for 30 seconds, and then watch that. As you see, I'm taking a whole bunch of damage from multiple ships, and as you see, the heal is just kind of healing it back up. They almost can't out heal. So the defenders, in my opinion, do get a little bit of an advantage. I think it's probably a tad easier, but both are actually pretty fun. I just think the attacking team needs a bit more of coordination. There was one game where we were absolutely slaughtering them. I think the enemy team had like 2 ships that were defending, but none of our team, I pushed really aggressively, got into the cap, but no one else kept pushing, and everyone was playing super passive. They farmed a bunch of damage off of them and they killed a bunch of them, but we didn't even kill a generator because no one else continued to push. So that is definitely something. There is a good mix of when you are attacking, whether to kill the ships or kill the generators. It's just something to keep an eye on how much time is left. Right now, one thing I did notice in a lot of these games is a lot of people would focus the ships instead of the generators. You just need to keep them going. If they don't do any, they don't kill a generator for a minute and 51 seconds, 50 seconds now, they are going to lose the game. So you do have to kind of pick a different, an example. There was one game where we were just basically a beast. We had secondaries on one, which ended up killing one generator, main guns on another. Once we killed one of them, then we rotated guns to the other ship, killed a ship, and that was just, it was man mode. It felt really, really cool to just defend. So I like to defend. It's a bit more fun. That is, though, once you die, you are done. So again, I think cruisers are pretty weak, and then destroyers are pretty unforgiving. Also, the generators do heal with that. They do get the exact heal, but generators take a ton of damage when it comes to, you know, everything pushing it. It seems like everything basically does a full pen damage, so the damage is pretty wild. But they do get the heal. So if they don't take damage for a while, you can then, you know, kind of recoup a lot of damage they took if you push a wave. I think this game has potential. This game mode definitely, I think, was a lot of fun. And I think could have potential as being a very social game if Wargaming kind of brought it back. It doesn't even need to be space. It could just be on whatever. It could be on all different kinds of maps. But I feel like this has potential of being a fun game mode. As you see right here, I think the battleship ends up shooting at me. Is it this situation? Do we get the kill in time? Yeah, see, he ended up shooting that, which basically cost him, is he only had 20 seconds left. As you see how low that generator is, he ended up putting the shot on me. So you do have to kind of pick that a little bit. Overall, though, this has been the most fun, in my opinion. I think this was, the game mode is just a blast, and I would like to see more of it. You can also make a decent amount of credits. All the credits you've seen, both on the attacking side as well as defending side, had no flags on. It was just the basic game with premium time. So, and what you see for those, you will see as the final reward. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these space battles. Did you enjoy it? And did you like being the attacker or defender? I'm interested to see what you see. But there we go. 400,000 credits, tons of XP, and all the goodies. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.